Here are the components that I want to point out to you. Here's your engine oil filter, and this is your drain plug for your oil pan. So Chevrolet has this little additional section here, and this will actually be your oil pan. So we're going to drain the oil out of here, and I love these small filters because I guarantee you we can probably just screw it off with our hand. Yep, we sure can. There she go. Okay. So, in the meanwhile, I'm gonna just let that drain. Let's go ahead and take our plug loose. Meanwhile, while that's draining, I think the oil filter's finished draining out. So we'll just go ahead and take that off. Get a rag so I can get a better grip. There we go. There we go. Okay, so they both are drained. And I just go ahead and put the plug back in place. And you don't want to over tighten this plug. Just put it back in. Screw it in with your hand. Never use an impact. It's really not, the metal is not that heavy duty. Okay, just go ahead and just put her back on there. Don't have to be tight, but just make sure it's good and snug. Okay, that's all we want. All right, we got a, I like to use AC Deco with Energy Impart. And I like to put the oil in the oil filter before I put it back on. And in case if your filter is tight, trying to go back up into your mount, don't force it. Just pull it back and turn it non-clockwise until it feels like it's catching, and then tighten the filter up. And if it still continue to be tight going up and it won't let you thread it going up, take it back off. You may have a defected oil filter. All right, that should do it. And notice how I just tighten it with my hand. I did not put a filter wrench on it, and believe me, once it gets hot, it's going to actually tighten up some more. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off my oil filler area here. And if you're not sure what type of oil to use, always look at your oil filler cap. 9 times out of 10, it will be written on the cap. Okay. I like to make sure there's no dirt that's gonna go into the valve cover. The worst enemy for a vehicle is dirt. And I noticed that you may say, well, I don't have to worry about any grease fittings. Where there are tie rods, grease fittings. They got grease fittings on the tie rods. So they have one on the right and one on the left. So I'm gonna grease those. And also the dry shaft, you don't have to worry about a grease fitting on the dry shaft. That's completely sealed. But I do prefer, and I would like for us to check the differential. You never know. A lot of times, some of these vehicles come from the factory and the differential is really not at the level plug. So we just want to check that. Okay, let's not forget to do our tie rod. That looks good to me. All right, let's go back to the differential. Okay, so now we need only thing you have to do is use a 3/8 ratchet. And notice how Chevrolet did this. They lined the marks up. They put 2 dots and they lined it up. I wonder if that their way of knowing if someone went in or not. Or was that something to do with the pre-inspection at the manufacturer? I'm sure someone out there knows. Okay, let's see. I see a little activity there. Let's see here if I can even feel. The oil looks great, but we need to add some. Actually, it seems like it's down here, and that's what I was talking about. We actually need to, you really need to check your drivetrain behind the manufacturer, because they will not fill it up all the way to where it should be. All right, we're going to fix that. I want to continue to pump until I start seeing oil come out. There we go. I only have 50,000 miles on my truck, but I think according to the manual, once it gets to 150,000 miles, I'm going to pull this pan off. And all thing you have to do is just take off these 10, just get a 10 millimeter socket and just pull this pan off and just let the oil drain, clean the pan. You can put a gasket back in place. It feels like it has a gasket. And if you don't have a gasket, you can actually use a good Permatex to actually put it back in place. So we're going to tighten that back up. There we go. So at least now we know it's okay. But I guarantee you, if you have never checked your differential on your vehicle and you had it since it was brand new, I guarantee you it's low. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is replace our air filter. That was on the list. We need a 8 millimeter socket to take loose 4 of these bolts. And one over here. I'm going to pull these out by hand, because if I don't, be just my luck, I'll lose them. Get this one here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Another thing I want to point out, this is our old filter. You can see exactly what it looks like, and keep in mind we're going to use a filter from CarQuest, and just the color is a little bit different, and that's not a problem. The only thing I like to do, the main thing I like to do, is just compare the size to make sure that it's the same size as the old filter. That's the only concern that I have. Okay, I believe we're good to go. Okay, we'll put it back down in here the way the old one came out. And we'll put our cover back in place. I thought I had to move this bar, but I didn't have to. That's okay. So now we know. Alright, let's put the 8mm back in place. So now we have changed our air filter, and you don't have to worry about the air filter to another 50,000 miles. Let's not forget our coolant. According to the operation manual, from what I have seen, we're not going to flush out the coolant until 150,000 miles, but we look like we're about almost 3 inches from the max line here. So we're going to top this off with the red antifreeze, the extended life antifreeze. And you cannot mix green antifreeze with red antifreeze. That's a big no-no. You can only either use one or the other. Now that the cooling reservoir is topped off, need to make sure I remember to, almost forgot to put my bolt back in place here. So this do not need to come off like I thought it would. All right, let's see what we have here. Need to change the compartment filter. Let's see here. Need to take out this screw, and we have 2 underneath, the same type size screws. Let's see what we got here. And this is the tool we're going to use. Let's see what size. Well, this is the size that you need. If the camera will focus, there it go. Okay, let's take off the ones at the bottom first. The light here. There you can see them. These are two on the bottom that we need to take off. Now we are at the glove box, and just need to take off the 4 screws at the glove box. Okay, what we're going to do is just try to pull the glove box back, and it's attached. It has a snap piece here, a hook here, and one here that we're just going to have to pop loose. Let's see if we can just move it back here. May have to take a little screwdriver. Just pull back. That'll work. So the whole unit comes right out. And let's go in here. This is what we want. You gotta snap this loose, that in. Let's go over here. Now this need to be replaced. Sometimes you may have someone complain of a moldy mildew smell, and especially after they finish using the AC and they shut the vehicle off with the AC on, and this filter is supposed to eliminate all the excess odor, and sometimes it just gets overwhelmed. Let me get a screwdriver here, just pry out the side. Now here is the new one I just received from the Chevrolet dealer. Wow, what a big difference. Hey, there's nothing to say. Definitely need to be changed. So the filter is definitely flexible, so it definitely won't be a problem putting it back in. We're going to put this one in the same way the old one came out. And just slide it right on back in. Then we're going to put our cap back on. It's an aggravating drop light. Okay, let's see here. Just go behind the harness here. Put it right back into place. Snap it down on the bottom and push it right back up. Snap right back into place. And that's what you want. And we'll put our glove box back on the same way it came off. So now you know how to change your compartment air filter. And when you get ready to put your glove box back in, if you notice, you have your little snaps here and one on that side, and they're supposed to go right back into the slot here. Just pop right back in, and once you pop them in, just screw your screws back in to place. Well, that is all you have to do. Job completed. Okay, so we have the truck lifted underneath the chassis here, and underneath the differential back here, we're using 2 jacks, and we have 2 jack stands. Because, like I said before, always make sure if the vehicle is up off the ground and you're not using lift, make sure you have some type of jack stand to back up the floor jack. All right, we're going to use a 7/8 socket with an impact gun to actually take off the cap. And what we're going to do is just rotate the tires. While we have the tires off, is a good time to check your pads. Oh yeah, they look good. I hope you can see that. Yep, they look good. They look that way on both sides. That's what we need. That looked like 80% life there. We'll check the rear. Oh yeah, that looks great. So that's the beauty about tire rotation. You can actually see the life of your pads. So they look like 80% all the way around.